Okay, today we're checking out the Big Fenix update in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is just dropped for both 2020 and 2024. I'm going to be focusing on the 2024 version, as there's some pretty cool features that we can take a look at, which are unique to the new sim. In particular, the Walkaround mode, which we'll look at shortly. But basically, this build is now a native 2024 aircraft. We're no longer just porting in the 2020 version, so they've really been able to take advantage of the new engine. They've recorded a brand new sound set, it's got enhanced texturing, and probably the biggest one for me is they've completely overhauled the flare physics on landing to feel more in line with the real aircraft, which is fantastic news. It's something I have struggled with in the Fenix previously, so we'll test that out as well. Oh, and I should also mention, this update is completely free of charge, which is sensational work by Fenix. We appreciate you. Okay, let's dive in and check out those new walk-around features. Right, here we are then. As you can see, our ground power is connected, so we will head up the stairs towards the aircraft and just show you a few of these features. The first one is we can actually manually open the doors. So all you've got to do is follow the instructions, so push the handle, lift, and we can just slide it open. Here we go. It just takes a couple of swipes with the mouse, and you have to make sure it locks into position. There is a gust lock, just hear the click there, so that's done. And what we're going to do is turn on the maintenance bus switch, which is just overhead here, and as long as the ground power is connected, that basically lets us power up all the hydraulics whilst the plane is still cold and dark. So that's all switched on, so let's head back round and show you another cool feature. So we're essentially in ground crew simulator now. So there's our ground power all connected up. You can disconnect it and it will get rid of the ground power unit, but we'll leave that on for now. And we will head round to our cargo doors and I'll show you how you open those. So there's our handle there, and similar to opening the aircraft doors, we just push our hand in, lift the lever, and gravity just makes the door drop open like that. And then we need to open the cargo door selector hatch here and switch that to open. And up it goes. And if you don't have that maintenance bus switch turned on, this won't work unless the plane's powered up and the hydraulics are on, and you have to let it open all the way up, otherwise it will slowly come back down again. That's looking pretty good. So let's take a little look, and that's all ready for our cargo loaders. Okay, so let's move on to our fueling panel then, which is just under the wing here, and if we click this hatch, look at that. It's like a Christmas tree, and all these valves and switches are fully operational. We can also load the fuel onto the plane from this panel, which is really cool. I'll show you how we do that shortly, but we'll move around to the back of the aircraft. There's another cargo door there. For the bulk cargo door, that's slightly different, so let's read the instructions on the door. So we need to push the button and move the handle to the open position. There we go. And then it tells us we need to return the handle to the locked position, and then we should be able to push the door upwards. There we go. So that is how we open the bulk cargo door. I am quite enjoying this. Okay, so let's head back up to our flight deck and we'll take a quick look at some of the new sounds and also some of the texturing inside the cockpit. So we'll just head back up the front stairs again. Up we go. And we will open the flight deck door, and to take our seat we need to click on this little click spot on these coat hangers to hang up our high-vis jacket, and there we go. So we are now seated in the captain's seat. So let's quickly just run through my flow and check out some of these new sounds. I mean, it's all quite familiar, but I think I can tell a difference. So that is everything set overhead. And just while we wait for everything to fire up, let's take a look at some of these visuals. You can see the displays are a lot more glossy than they were previously, which is definitely more realistic. And they've also taken advantage of the custom LODs in 2024. And as we take a closer look at all these dials and switches, they do look really sharp. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but basically it only loads in the textures that's sort of close to us or what we're looking at, which really helps with performance. So that's all looking good. Okay, what I'm briefly going to show you now is how we load the fuel onto the plane using the fuel panel on the outside that we were just looking at. So let's go to our mass and balance, and we'll quickly just reset all these, and we'll just put a random payload in for now, some cargo, and let's put 6,500 kilos of fuel in, and we'll hit apply, and then we'll load aircraft, and we'll do it instantly, and then we'll hop outside and tweak those fuel levels. Imagine we've had a bit of a delay, so the ground crew need to add a little bit more fuel for our departure. So click on the coat hangers, and here we are in walk around mode again. So let's head back out and down the stairs. Oh look, the door's shut. That's kind of cool, so I can show you how you open the door from the inside as well. So first of all, we need to disarm the yellow handle, and then we can lift the red lever, and then we can simply slide the door open again. Again, you have to just make sure it goes all the way till it clicks. And check out how those ambient sounds change as well. I don't know how they've done that, that's really cool. So it gets louder as we come back outside the plane. I do like that. So let's go all the way back round to our fueling panel again. There it is. So we just need to click on the panel again to open it. There we go. Yeah, let's just move around a bit so you can see a bit more clearly. So you can see we've got our 6.5 tons of fuel that we've added from the EFB. Let's open the valves to the left and right tanks. We can leave the centre tanks closed, and then we're going to add our extra 500 kilos of fuel, so we'll wind that up to 7, and then it's just a case of starting the pump. And there we go, we can see both left and right tanks have started to increase their fuel level, and then once the readout in the bottom right gets up to 7 tons, we will switch off the pump. So just a couple more seconds, so we've got 6.8 tons on board, 6.9, and 7. So we can stop fueling then, and we can close that latch, and then we want to close the valve to the left tank and also the right tank. So there you go, you can see we've got 3.5 tons balanced in both tanks. Let's close the panel, and we will head back up to the flight deck and check out our work. I can tell you something Phoenix haven't thought of. They need an in-sim step counter, because the amount of times I've been up and down these stairs, must have done about 15,000 steps already. Right, back to the flight deck, and click on the hangers. I love that, the way the seat slides back in as well. So let's head back down to the tablet, and as you can see we've got 6,962 kilos planned and 7,000 in the tank, so that's worked really well. Right, as much fun as playing with the walk around features is, I guess the important thing is how the Phoenix now flies. So I'm going to get the plane into the air and fly a quick approach so we can check out the new handling and flare physics. So I will catch up with you again on our short final. Okay, we are on our final approach down onto runway 23 right into Manchester. We're about to capture our glide slope. Our localizer is captured, so we'll just wait a couple of seconds and then we'll pop our missed approach altitude in. Right, let's set that missed approach of 3,000 feet then. And for all you WinWing users, they've also just dropped an update as well. So the FCU is also now compatible with the Phoenix in 2024, which is great.
1,000.
So that's 1,000 feet to go then, and we're flying this approach flaps full at 120 knots, which is pretty slow, but I do want to see exactly how this flare now works, so just going to take it nice and steady. So autopilot off, and my controls. And I'm actually flying this for the first time, having reset all my sensitivities to the default settings, so I recommend you do the same because they have changed how the plane handles, and it's been designed to use the default settings, I believe. So let's see how we go. What I would say is you do only need to make very minor movements on the side stick. It does hand fly really well.
500.
And 500 to go. 2 whites, 2 reds on the pappies. Okay, here we go then. And I'm going to enter the flare just after the 30 feet call out. so around about the 25 feet mark. Check.
50, 40, 30.
And flare, throttle's idled, and touchdown. Oh, it's absolute butter. Reverser's green, and decel. And manual braking, and we're going to vacate next right. And I tell you what, that did feel very different. I'm not sure I've actually ever felt that stable on an approach in the Fenix before, and I really had to sort of lower that nose wheel down slowly. It doesn't snap down or anything, so yeah, very nice. Okay, I'm going to end it there for today. That concludes my first look at the Big Fenix update for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And I'm going to leave you with one more replay of that landing taken from the nose wheel gear, so you can check out those flare physics from a slightly different angle. But that's it from me for today. If you did enjoy the video, do consider giving it a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.